back, degenerates. Thank you for tuning in for our final episode of The Big Bang Theory. I'm your host, Rodrigo Puerto Rico. Today we have a lot to go over, including an award ceremony, we take a look at my record in Peyton's picks, and compare my beginning of the year ranking predictions to the final ranking results, and much, much more. But first, a quick word from some of our sponsors.
You know what I'm sick and tired of, Harry? I'm sick and tired of having to eke my way through life.
What am I supposed to do? Just go about my life like everything is fine?
That's exactly what you should do.
Yes, go skiing, go to parties, act normally.
I'm sick and tired of being a nobody.
Don't you see, honey, we can't let on that anything's wrong. If the press or the authorities get wind of this, kidnappers may panic.
I'm sick and tired of having nobody.
So where are you headed?
Aspen.
What do you think the chances are of a guy like me and a girl like you ending up together?
Not good. Who are these sick people?
Remember me? No! Open it up!
She is the love of my life!
You're a dead man! I'm talking about a little place called Aspen.
Hi there, I'm Peyton Kincaid, and I'm running for the President of this great United States of America. I'm a candidate that is here to represent the people. Whether you're working class folks or filthy, stupid, ridiculously handsome like myself. I don't know, maybe you're the village idiot. Who am I to judge? I have your interest at heart. Here's a little about me and why I've chosen to run for Prez. First, in 2008, I saw Barack's election, and I was inspired. I thought, if a terrorist can get elected, I could do it. Then in 2016, I realized if they will elect a hissy fit-throwing, woman-grabbing, orange-skinned reality star whose slogan, when asked how he will make America great again, he replied, by sending them back Juan by Juan, I thought, for sure, I should have no problem being elected day one. Then, the ultimate deciding factor, our last election of 2020. I thought to myself, if they will elect a geriatric stumbling bumbling to catch a predator hair-smelling pedophile, I knew this should be a piece of cake. If elected, I promise to bring back Blockbuster. I'll talk to all the major chain stores and gas stations to get rid of that $4.99 crap. If you mean 50, just say 50, you know? Honestly, it's really about the people. I see people struggling every day, and I want to end the struggle. I will end abortion once and for all, but I am, however, for euthanizing against people's will. Some people call it murder. I call it vision. So whether you're a white supremacist, Nazi-loving degenerate like J-Bear, a brokeback mountain-loving, rainbow shirt-wearing, ultra-flaming soy boy beta cuck like Kaylin, or your name is Daryl and Brandon, I'm the president you need and deserve. I'm Peyton Kincaid, and I'm too sexy for this shirt.
I like to give out 3 awards really quick. Award number 1, the Overachiever Award. This award goes out to Kalen, who, at the beginning of the year, when I asked if he wanted to play in the Fantasy Football League, he said, yeah, sure. I love it when they run around kicking the balls into the net. Well done this year, Short Bus. Well done. Award number 2 goes to Turd Gobbler of the Year, Mario. Again, someone who I thought would be at the top of the class managed his football season about as good as he managed his dialysis appointments. Better luck to the both of those in the future, Hilltop Ballers. Our last award of the evening is the Gnat Award. We call it that because you know how annoying gnats are at a barbecue? You're constantly swatting at them. You say no, you pull out the spray. You salt them as if they were a snail, and they still keep coming. This award goes out to the most annoying fantasy football manager in the league. He is known as We the Best. And all of you, I assume, have been affected by his attempts to trade your best players for 10 of his terrible players. He doesn't get how trades work yet. Like the fact that you would have to trade or drop the entire rest of your roster just to accept his trade. And when we called him out on how bad these trades were, all of his answers were, "Sorry, I'm just trying to make my team better." Yeah, that's what we're all trying to do. So why would we give you our great players for a mop bucket? I can't wait to reject those trades again next year, DJ. Now this year, I must admit, was extremely crazy. The injuries derailed certain people's seasons. Some people just had terrible luck, and others had amazing luck, like Brandon. I would like to now give out my final end of the year record when it comes to Peyton's picks. For 17 weeks, I picked every game, and through unforeseen circumstances, sometimes I got 1 or 2 wrong. But believe it or not, the end of the year Peyton's picks record is, I was able to pick the correct winner 80 times and was led to believe in the wrong person 22 times, which is a little surprising considering I figured I would be 102-0. I promise to do a little better next year. Again, to reiterate, this year was crazy with tons of up and downs, tons of injuries, tons of last-second big plays that changed the course of the week for so many fantasy managers. Tons of matchups that ended with less than a point deciding the winner and loser. Let's go back in the way back machine and check out my rankings to begin the year and compare them to the final rankings for the season. I'm not one to toot my own horn or be the type to brag, but I mean, come on. Last year, I was able to pick the top 4 teams and bottom 3 teams with 95% accuracy. Yeah, I know I'm amazing. I have heavily evaluated and ran 471 different algorithms to complete this list. Here's your week 1 power rankings. My top 4 teams is number 1, Dirty Landry, ran by Chad. Number 2, Mike Wazowski, ran by Ryan. Number 3, the Demo Dogs, ran by this good-looking stud muffin. And at number 4, the Hilltop Ballers, ran by Mario. These teams are the favorites as of right now to make it into the playoffs. The next group of teams I could see making their way into the top 4 depending on how the coins land that particular day. Good, strong teams with just a couple of holes to fill in. At number 5, I have the Haddonfield Slashers, ran by Sensei. Team 6, Short Bus, ran by Kalen. At number 7, I have the Cedar Hill Narwhals, ran by Jake. And at number 8, Lord of the Chords, ran by Austin. These next teams I find in the lower end of the spectrum. I was honestly surprised that Brandon chose to have his draft auto-picked while he watched a preseason game. And Daryl must have fallen asleep during his draft. At number 9, we have Signer Time, ran by Brandon. At number 10, Lake of Fish, ran by Daryl. And at number 11, Bear Business, ran by J-Bear. This next team, boy, where do I start? Once again, DJ chose to crap the bed in this draft and completely Amber Turded it, if you ask me. I'm just trying to help, because putting all your money on one player, Derrick Henry, will never allow you to be good in fantasy football. But hey, what do I know? Only you starting off 0-4 2 seasons in a row must have been a coincidence? At number 12, I have Team We the Best, ran by DJ. If you don't agree with these rankings, prove me wrong, boys. Man, that's one good-looking dude right there. I hardly heard a word he said. I had to turn away from the screen and just listen to know the correct order of power rankings. Here's how it all shook out. At number 1, our champion, the Haddonfield Slashers. At number 2, Signer Time. At number 3, yours truly, the Demo Dogs. At number 4, Mike Wazowski. Number 5, Kalen, Short Bus. Number 6, Dirty Landry. At number 7, Bear Business. Those are the playoff teams. Plug your nose to hear the remaining bottom of the toilet teams. Number 8, We Da Best. I'm going to stop right here for a second. Every year, DJ does a terrible job of drafting. He always starts out 0-4, 0-5, 0-6, and then he ends up trading those players and going on an undefeated run to end the year. And every year barely misses the playoffs. I know I've told you this season and every season, but next year, if you draft with your brain and not your heart, I truly believe you'll be one of the top teams in the league. Or I guess you could keep doing the same thing. It's pretty fun for the rest of us. Anyways, number 9, Lake of Fish. Number 10, Lord of the Chords. Number 11, Cedar Hill Narwhals. And number 12, the Hilltop Ballers. This year's rankings are all over the place. I can't take credit for calling them as closely as I normally have, and the only ranking you all need to know about is the person who will take the trophy home next year. And I'll go ahead and give you a little foreshadowing. It's gonna be me.
But we got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see
Take a look at my record, man. Unity over division. We choose science over fiction. We choose truth over facts. And so, folks, if you're interested, join me. I could use the help. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
Mainstream African American, who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. No, I really mean it, but think how we think about it.
Should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
It's a good question. Number one, I was a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. In the United States Senate. So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway. We're going to get a lot done. And
what you're doing for the country.
Well, thank you.
Mr. President, what did you
Chocolate chip. Oh, yeah. And to get hot, I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what. Thank you. All right. Well, nice to see you guys. What they're proposing. Romney wants to he said in the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains. An estimation of somewhere between $700 billion and $1.3 trillion. Congressman Laurie and Congressman Scott. And I want to thank you for all that you do to represent these service veterans, because they're devoted to you. It's their family members, the caregivers, survivors will call Virginia home. I'm especially honored to share the stage with Brittany and Jared and Nathan and Margaret Catherine. I love those barrettes in her hair, man. I tell you what, and look at her. She looks like she's 19 years old, sitting there with her, like a little lady with her legs crossed. Brittany, for embracing the LGBT plus community, The LGBTQ plus community as an LGBTQ plus special envoy. LGBTQ plus people, including LGBTQ plus folks. Look how it's changing. It's changing in ways that in my generation 270 years ago.
This year, one thing is for certain. The Shoulder Pad Patrol Fantasy Football League was extremely fun. The trash talking was incredible. The games that came down to the wire were exciting. Only thing that could have made it better was if that money was in my pocket and my trophy was on my shelf. Before you know it, we will be at Ravenwood Manor once again, kicking off our next draft. Check your inbox and be ready for the invitation. Until then, I am Joe Biden, and I forgot this message. Smell you later. In quote, now?